You open a cabinet and everything is inside a bin. The shelves are labeled. The baskets match. There may even be a smaller container tucked inside a larger one. From the outside, it looks organized, but when you need one simple thing, you still have to move 3 boxes, check 2 labels, and remember which category you decided it belonged to. For many women over 40, the problem is not always visible clutter. Sometimes it is the organized things that make your home feel heavy. The systems look tidy, but they create more steps, more decisions, and more maintenance than everyday life can comfortably carry. In this video, we are looking at 10 things that are often called organized, but may quietly add to the mental load at home. You do not need to remove every container or stop using labels. The point is to notice which systems are genuinely helping you and which ones have slowly become another job. By the end, you may see that a calmer home is not the home with the most storage tools. It is the home that asks less of you. Storage bins can be useful. They can group similar items, protect seasonal belongings, and make an open shelf easier to look at. But there is a point where the bins stop supporting the room and begin controlling it. You may recognize this in a closet filled with stacked boxes. One contains scarves, another holds handbags, a third contains items you are not ready to decide about. The boxes look neat, but every time you need something, you have to remember what is where. If a label is small, outdated, or turned toward the wall, you may open several boxes before finding the right one. Too many bins can also make it easier to keep more than the space comfortably holds. Instead of asking, "Do I still need this?" the container offers a quicker answer. There is room for it. That can delay the real decision. The shelf looks controlled, while the choices remain unfinished inside the boxes. A calmer approach is to let each container serve a clear active category. Keep the bins that make access easier. Question the ones that only hide how much is there. When a container creates more searching, lifting, and remembering, then the items inside are worth it may no longer be simplifying the space. Small baskets are often sold as an easy solution. Put one near the door, one on the counter, one beside the sofa, one in the bathroom, and one on the stairs. At first, each basket seems helpful because it gives loose items somewhere to go. But small baskets can become quiet collection points for delayed decisions. A basket near the entryway may hold receipts, sunglasses, a charger, unopened mail, and something that belongs upstairs. A basket in the living room may hold remote controls, hand cream, reading glasses, cables, and a notebook. Nothing looks scattered yet. Each basket still contains several unrelated decisions. The problem is not the basket itself. The problem begins when it becomes a place where objects wait indefinitely. If you have several of these around the home, you may be maintaining many small zones of uncertainty. You empty one and then notice another. You rearrange the contents, but the same mixed group returns a few days later because the basket has no clear job. Try giving each basket one purpose. One basket for current reading, one basket for items that need to go upstairs, one basket for daily medications where that is appropriate and safe for your household. When a basket has no single purpose, it may be hiding clutter rather than helping you finish the decision. Labels can reduce confusion, especially in shared spaces. A clear label on a pantry shelf or linen cupboard may help everyone return things to the right place. But labeling every box, drawer, shelf, jar, and divider can create a system that needs constant correction. The label says baking, but someone put snack bars there. The drawer says office supplies, but it now contains batteries and spare keys. The basket says returns, but it becomes a permanent holding area. Then you feel the need to relabel, rearrange, or remind everyone how the system is supposed to work. A useful label removes a question. An overly detailed label can create more rules. This becomes especially tiring when the categories are too narrow. Instead of one shelf for household supplies, there may be separate labels for tape hooks, fasteners, repair items, spare parts, and miscellaneous tools. The system looks precise, but precision only helps when it matches the way people actually use the space. Keep labels where they genuinely make life easier. Remove the ones you no longer notice, no longer follow, or constantly have to enforce. Your home does not need to operate like a warehouse. It needs to be simple enough for real people to live in. Keeping a backup of something you use often can be practical. One extra tube of toothpaste, one unopened bottle of dish soap, or one spare pack of batteries may save an unnecessary trip. But backups can quietly multiply. You buy another because you cannot remember whether there is already one at home. You see a sale and decide it makes sense to stock up. You move the supplies into matching containers, and because the shelf looks organized, the total amount no longer feels excessive. Soon there are 6 bottles of cleaner, several unopened lotions, multiple packs of paper goods and duplicates stored in more than one room. The weight comes from keeping track of it. What do you have? Where is it? Which one should be used first? Has anything expired, leaked, dried out, or become something you no longer prefer? An organized stockpile can still be more inventory than one household wants to manage. Choose a simple backup limit for the items you use regularly. For many categories, one open item and one spare may be enough. Your number may be different. What matters is that you can see what you have and use it before buying more without turning the house into a stockroom you have to manage. Deep containers are tempting because they hold a lot. They can make a shelf look clean in seconds, but they often create a visibility problem. The items at the front are easy to reach. The items at the back disappear. Smaller things fall to the bottom. You remember that the container holds bathroom products or craft supplies, but you do not know exactly what is still in it. Then you buy another item because the one you already own is buried. This happens in deep pantry bins, large under-sink containers, tall toy baskets, and oversized bathroom boxes. The container may look calm from the outside, while the inside becomes a layer of forgotten products. The easiest storage is not always the storage that holds the most. It is often the storage that lets you see and retrieve what you actually use. Consider a shallower bin, an open shelf, a divided drawer, or simply fewer items in the container. If you have to remove half the contents to reach one thing, the container may be too deep for that category. Better visibility can reduce how much you have to keep track of. That small reduction matters in a home where your mind is already holding many other details. Some organizing systems become complicated because every item needs an exact identity. There is a category for paperwork, then subcategories for medical papers, school papers, warranties, receipts, instruction manuals, tax documents, household records, and papers to review. In the kitchen, snacks may be divided by person type, time of day, or nutrition goal. Clothing may be separated not only by season but by activity, color, fabric, and frequency of use. Detailed categories work well for some households, but they can also turn putting one object away into a small decision-making task. Where does this belong? Is it a household document or a financial document? Is this a travel pouch or a technology pouch? Does this top belong with casual clothing or exercise clothing? When the answer is not immediate, the item often stays out until later. A simpler system is usually easier to maintain because it has room for ordinary life. Broader categories may feel less perfect, but they reduce hesitation. Important papers may work better than 7 files you rarely open. Cables may work better than sorting every cord by device length and function. The best category is not necessarily the most precise one. It is the one you can use on a busy Tuesday without standing in front of a drawer trying to remember your own rules. An empty organizer can feel useful even when it is not serving a purpose right now. It is a good box, a sturdy basket, a set of drawer dividers, a file holder that might fit somewhere later. So you keep it. Then the organizers themselves need storage. They are stacked in a closet, placed on a shelf, or nested inside one another. Some are missing lids. Some no longer fit the spaces you have. Others were bought for a project that never became part of your routine. Because they are organizing products, they may not register as clutter. They seem like tools rather than possessions. But an unused organizer still takes up space, and it still asks for a future decision. Will you use it? Where will it go? What should it hold? Should you keep the full set? Could it work in another room? If you already have a clear use for it, keep it. If not, consider releasing it. You do not need to store every possible solution to a future problem. A home can feel lighter when the storage tools have jobs too. You may have several label makers, rolls of shelf liner, extra hooks, drawer dividers, file folders, storage bags, cable ties, and unused containers left from previous organizing attempts. Each item was purchased with good intentions. It was going to make one area easier. But when the system changed, the tools remained. Now there may be a drawer full of products designed to organize other drawers. Duplicates are easy to accumulate because organizing often begins with shopping. A new product creates a quick feeling of progress before any decision has been made about what you already own. But the tool does not create calm by itself. Sometimes it simply becomes one more object to store. Gather similar organizing supplies in one place and look at the full quantity before buying more. Keep the tools you actually use and a reasonable number of replacements. Let go of products that belong to an old system you do not intend to rebuild. You do not need the perfect product for every category. Often the simplest solution is to keep less group things more broadly and leave a little open space instead of filling it with another organizer. A household command center may include a family calendar, meal plan, shopping list, mail sorter, key hooks, school papers, reminder board, and weekly schedule. It can be genuinely helpful, especially when several people use it and share the responsibility. But it can also become a display of everything one woman is expected to remember. The calendar needs updating. The papers need sorting. The markers dry out. The meal plan changes. Someone leaves a note but does not complete the task. The board becomes another surface you have to review, correct, and reset. It looks organized because the information is visible, yet the maintenance may still belong to one person. Ask whether the system is actually sharing responsibility or simply displaying your responsibility more neatly. A calmer command center may contain less, perhaps one shared calendar and one place for papers that need action. Perhaps recurring tasks can live in a reminder system shared by the people responsible for them. Perhaps the wall does not need to track every meal appointment, household goal, and school event at the same time. The purpose is not to create a beautiful control station. It is to help the household function without turning you into the full-time manager of the board. A home can look organized and still depend almost entirely on one person's memory. You know which basket holds spare toiletries. You know that 2 labels no longer match the contents. You know the extra paper towels are in a different closet because the usual shelf was full. You know which drawer contains batteries, which folder holds warranties, and which container has the holiday tablecloths. Everyone else asks you before looking. This is one sign that an organizing system may have become too complicated. If it only works when you are available to explain it, it is not reducing the mental load. It is concentrating that load in you. Simplifying may mean fewer categories, more visible storage, clearer shared locations, or allowing other people to decide where some things belong. Their method may not look exactly like yours. That can be uncomfortable at first, but a slightly imperfect system that several people can use may be more peaceful than a perfect system only you can maintain. The goal is not to make the home dependent on your memory. The goal is to make daily life easier for everyone who lives there. Take another look at the shelves, baskets, labels, and containers in your home, not with criticism, and not with the idea that you now need to reorganize everything again. Just notice what each system asks from you. Does it make an item easier to find? Does it remove a decision? Can other people use it without asking you? Is it simple to reset on a tired day? Or does it create more sorting, more remembering, more checking, and more quiet maintenance? An organized home is not defined by how many bins it contains. It is defined by how easily daily life can move through it. You may decide to remove one basket with no clear purpose. You may combine 3 categories into one. You may use the backups before buying more. You may leave part of a shelf empty instead of filling it with another organizer. Those changes can look small, but even a small reduction in maintenance can create breathing room. Your home does not need to prove that you are organized. It does not need a label for every object or a system for every possible situation. It needs to support the life you are living now. So begin with one question. What in this home looks organized, but still asks too much of me? That answer may show you exactly where to begin. If this gentle, realistic approach helps you subscribe to Calm Her Daily for more ways to create a calmer home without cleaning all day or carrying everything alone. And in the comments, tell me which organized system in your home has become harder to maintain than it is worth.